Hey guys, what's up? Going to be doing a caricature today, straight on the paper with no sketch of Carl. I did one for him before, but that was kind of a quickie with kind of pens that were running out and no pastels. My new pastels have arrived and I got some ink, so I've topped up in my custom Crayolas and we're going to get stuck in. I'm going to talk through this one. Still trying out this little tabletop, which is pretty cool. It's not quite as good to draw on as my easel, but it's pretty good for at home, and the ease, the portability, and the fact it rotates is very nice. Yeah, so let's get stuck in. Straight on the paper, no sketch. Let's go. Let's make it fun, cartoony, and yeah, get some nice colours on. So I'm just planning now in my mind where I'm going to start, and I usually I work inside to out. Some people like to work outside to in. I suppose it's just how your brain works, whichever your brain feels comfortable with. I find I can place things better working in to out. So I'll start on either an eyebrow, an eye, or a nose, and build from there to get my proportions right. I find when I start on the outside and go in, I'm kind of having to start again because there's nothing to work from, if you know what I mean. So I could end up with a really small face, or it never seems to quite sit right. You might get lucky, but so I think for this one I'm going to start on the nose and plan all my features from there. This is what I'm doing now in my mind, and then I'm just gonna, as soon as my pen touches paper, I'm getting stuck in. Okay. Right, okay. Let's get stuck in. I'm starting on an eye. It hasn't got big eyes, but I like to give all my characters kind of bigger eyes for the cartoony effect. So I'm bearing that in mind whilst trying to make it still look like him, which is a challenge. It's all a challenge. And once we get going, we'll be off. Okay, let's go. To save time, I usually just do your generic kind of eye lighting. The sort of same for everybody. The kind of left a little gap for my highlight, you know, put a bit of shadow in behind it. And I just find it saves time because the lighting is going to be different whoever you're drawing, wherever you are. So you've got to save time and make it more efficient wherever you can. Okay. Okay, so there's the eyes done. Now I can plan from this everything else. Okay, so I mean, if he had a big nose, he hasn't, but if he did, you know, I could push that wherever I want from the size of the eyes I've done, you know, so you can work from that. Whereas if I just had the face, head shape kind of going in a bit blind, well, that's how I feel anyway. So I'm just going to do an eyebrow. Okay, so I was just thinking, thinking of a little something like this. And a little something like that, maybe. I hope this pen don't run out. It's looking a bit dry. So now I'm looking at the T-shape of his features, where his eyes meet his nose. They sort of form the letter T. So working out where this nose is going to go and how far I can push it while still making it look like him. So I've got the T-shape in my mind. And I think I'm going to push it about there. Yeah, I think that's going to do. Okay, just going to thicken up the corner of these eyes a touch. One thing I'm trying my hardest not to do, which is probably the biggest challenge for a caricaturist, is to not look at the picture, the reference too much, because I kind of get drawn into portrait mode and things can become a little confused. Cartoon don't really mix with portrait. It gives a confusing, almost amateurish look. It don't fit. So you've got to choose strongly one or the other. It's very contrasting. That's why I like to go for the cartoon, obviously. So I'm trying not to look at him because it's taken over from my cartoony instincts. Just looking at the distance from nose to mouth. I'm just going to start by getting that top lip in the right place. So I think I'm going to give him a big smile. You know, I've got to make something, got to push, exaggerate something. It's going to be his mouth, I think. Carl's actually paid for this character, so obviously, you know, we're going to try and take a bit more time. We're not in such a rush. Just at home, there's no queue forming, there's nothing going on. Let's just take our time and get it right. I ain't going to be doing the teeth. You can run the risk of getting things horribly wrong if you do. So what I'm going to do is just block in the shape of some teeth. So I'm just going to sort of go like this, like so, and just kind of get some sort of basic shape of the characters or the subject's teeth. A bit of ink in there. I'm using a waterproof Indian ink for this, which I sort of load up inside my Crayola markers. He's got a nice strong jaw, hasn't he? So let's get a bit of that in. Big jaw, and we're gonna just bring it up and around there, I think. Like so. And like so. Quite high cheekbones. Which is going to bring us nicely back for the rest of the head shape. So I am trying to keep it loose. I am getting a bit too involved. It's hard working from a reference photo. You tend to look too much, but you know, I am trying with the strokes to make up for that. Just I've matched these two up a little bit. I've gone a bit square there, but hey ho, that's what live drawing can do. This table's fault again. Bit of a hairline going on. Let's try and get a smaller body on the go now, because we're sort of limited on room. Some sort of wristband going round there. Some muscles, some muscles. I'm not too worried about things like how far away that is now from his head, because it's cartoony. We're going to give him a long neck straight down into his t-shirt like so. That's the fun bit about caricature. To be honest, you can kind of do whatever you want. This pen is on its last legs. Try and get another bit of arm in there. Like so. Now we try and do some tattooage. I'm just gonna kind of draw in the shapes. You know, I'm not a tattooist. Draw in the shapes of what I see, and then I'll put a bit of depth in there with a bit of pastel later on. some more tattooage going on there, some text there. And that shall do for the tattoo. Got a bit of goatee going on as well, haven't we? So we'll throw a bit of goatee in. Throw a bit of goatee in like that. So apart from the flat head, we're happy with that. Looking cool. I suppose now all that's needed to do is to get some colour involved. I'm going to throw my signature on right now though. "23. Okay, let's colour him. So I think I'm going to start with my pink and just try and work in some pink colour around the cheeks. I was sort of starting with a dark brown colour and then building on top of that, but it made it look a bit muddy. Obviously it's not digital, so you're a bit limited to your colour palettes sometimes. So I found that using like a brown for every shadow, it wasn't really working very well, to be honest. And I ended up with like a muddy tone at the end. Shadow there. I'm going to be sort of going over this with a salmon colour. So it's not going to look too pink. Right. happy with that. Got the shape of those cheeks in. Let's put a bit on the lips while I'm here. I don't like to pick up the same colour twice, but I do too often for my liking. Right, let's try and blend a bit of that out now with our salmon colour. Have I got a smooth part? That'll do. Oh, someone's phoning me. No idea who though. Just wrapping that around the cranium. As you can see, I'm trying to go over the pink bits just as much, just to blend them out. Just give it a bit of a different hue, if possible. Note the use of the word trying, which I use quite a lot. If you notice, with a clenched fist, it gets a very lighter where the pressure is sort of around the knuckles, so I'm kind of leaving that a bit white. Okay, we blocked in a nice bit of colour there for his face. We can be brave and try and get a bit of shadow in. Let's try and get a bit of red in first. Bit of cadmium red. Just going very careful. Like so. So what colour eyes you got? Like a dark brown maybe. Put a bit of, maybe a touch of green in there at the base. Just a bit of an undercolour. I need to double check what colour his eyes are. What colour are his eyes? They are brown, aren't they? Yeah. Is that brown? That's brown. A little bit of green now just gives it a bit of interest. We'll go darker again with a bit of burnt sienna. I don't want to go too mad with the burnt sienna. It's only a bit of texture. So his hair now. I think what I'm going to do is go in with a rosé. Or is that going to be too red? That's going to be too red. Maybe I'll stick with that burnt sienna. See if I can lightly get his beard going. Yeah, that works. Maybe we'll go darker again with some Toledo. Some variation. Toledo, got a bit of variation going on there. So we're gonna get his nice blue t-shirt in. Actually, let me just double check. I'm sure Carl is a plumber. I'm gonna double check a sec. I wanna see what colour his uniform is. Okay, so I just had a quick check then to see what colour Carl's shirt was. It's actually black. So, do I go with black or do I pick my own colourful colour? I'm gonna go with it. Am I gonna go with black? I don't know. No, I'm not. I'm gonna pick my own colour. I'm gonna pick my own colour actually. I think we are going to go bright yellow. I'm just gonna put in a few shadowy attempts. And we're just going bright yellow, simple as. And we're going to build a bit of a mid-balance yellow into that because it looks it's a bit too contrasting, the shading. Just going to put a bit of normal yellow in. Need a bit of colour in your life. Needs to change his worktop from black to yellow. Yeah, yellow. Tell you what we could do though, we could put a bit of a little, let's do a design for him, is it? There you go, have a palm tree. Have a palm tree. Yes, that's it. Okay, where are we? Right. I'm just going to pop a bit of grey into those eyes to make the whites pop. Like so. put some textured marks in, just to keep it interesting. Okay, bit of blue background and I think we're done. I'm going to go with just a light blue. And I think I'm going to go with a bit of stripes. Yeah, it looks cool. Do we need another colour on that background, do you think? Do we, to make it pop more? I mean, orange goes with blue nice. Maybe can't have orange, it'll interact with the face. Blue and green is never to be seen. But what about emerald green? Nah. Let's have a bit of periwinkle blue. Periwinkle blue. I mean, it's called periwinkle blue, but to most of us, I'm pretty sure we call it purple. Here we are. Just gives you a little something extra to look at, don't it? Can we umber? Can we umber that beard a bit more, do you think? Let's have a look. Right, that's looking done. I'm going to put a bit of splashy washy paint on it now. Maybe a dot there. Maybe a dot there and a dot there. I don't want to go too mad. Dot there. Right, I haven't done his hand bangle thing. What's it called? Wristband. I haven't done his wristband, have I? So let's try and do it at least in the colours that he's got. So it's kind of a burnt umber and black thing going on. So let's go with that. I'll use like a dark grey or dark blue grey instead. Maybe we can get a bit more tattooage going on. of shading. Lovely. Oh, that's better. It's better than the first one we done. There you go, my buddy. Completed. Caricature for Gav. Sorry, for Cal. Gav's next.